Please rise.
Yes, sir. Please be seated. Ready to proceed this morning. Next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State call Detective Kate Sully.
I ask you to come up and stand right before the clerk here, John.
Please mention on Bible, raise your right hand, state your name for record, please. Do you swear or affirm that you shall serve in this matter, hold true to
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
Detective Kate Sully, McLean County Prosecutor's Office.
How long have you been with the Camden County Prosecutor's Office?
Approximately 10 years.
And what's your role in the Camden County Prosecutor's Office?
I'm a detective in the high-tech crimes unit.
In the high-tech crimes unit, is that where you were working in October 2015?
Yes, it is.
And can you tell us generally what are your duties as a detective in the high-tech crimes unit?
I handle mobile forensics on devices such as cell phones, tablets, GPS systems for the county and for counties throughout the state. I also assist in retrieving surveillance videos off of DVR systems that are involved in investigations throughout the county. And I also assist in search warrants for child pornography cases, cybercrime cases that are handled in the high-tech crime.
You said mobile forensics. Can you tell us what you mean by mobile forensics?
I work with a system called Celebrate. It's both hardware and software-based system that extracts the data off of devices such as cell phones.
So basically pulling information from a cell phone?
Yes.
Can you describe, have you received any training in that type of forensic examination?
Yes, I have. I am certified in Celebrate. I'm also certified through Celebrate as a logical operator, a physical examiner, and a mobile examiner.
Did you have to receive training in order to get certified?
Yes, approximately over 80 plus hours.
You said Celebrate. You're saying the term Celebrate. What's Celebrate?
Celebrate is a software and hardware-based system that extracts data off of devices.
So it's kind of a company that creates these hardware and software that helps you extract the information from cell phones. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Can you just ballpark for us how many cell phones you forensically examined or analyzed, extracted during your time in the high-tech crime scene?
Yes. We average over approximately 600 phones a year. So it's been at over thousands of phones.
So, can you talk to us about that process? You receive a cell phone, what do you do?
Once the phone is signed in, I will examine the phone, see if the phone has a password. And if it has a password, I will then add the password into the phone, which will then unlock it. And I will also check to make sure if it's in airplane mode. The reason for that is it will stop the signal to the cellular network, so the phone can't be either remotely wiped or altered in any way. Once it is in airplane mode, I will then connect it to our forensic computer via whatever cable is allocated for that phone, that certain device. Once it's connected, it will then ask me to trust the device on the phone. When I trust the device, that will now start the communication between the phone and the computer. And then I will go into the software part of Celebrate.
Well, stop right there. You mentioned the forensic computer. Can you describe that for us?
It's a computer that is forensic-based, where it will extract the data. It's called write blocking, so you can't write to the device and alter it in any way.
When you say write blocking, can you describe what that means for us?
So you can't alter whether it's like a hard drive or a cell phone that's plugged into the computer. You can't add to it. You can only extract, kind of like a one-way street. It will pull from that device, not alter it.
So does this process affect the data that's on the phone in any way, shape, or form?
No.
Now, after it's connected to the software, what happens next?
I will then open up Physical Analyzer, which will then allow me to extract an advanced logical extraction from this device. And that will give me the data that is on the phone, whether it be call logs, contacts, emails, device locations, and will also retrieve previously deleted information.
When you get the data on the phone, how does it give it to you? On what form?
It will parse out the data. It will extract it, and then it will open it up into a summary, like a data extraction summary.
Now, you said, is this the Celebrate software and hardware that is used for this process?
Yes.
Is there, what specifically is the Celebrate used for cell phones? UFED was what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's a UFED extraction, which is a universal forensic evidence device, and that's the format that it will put in, so the data can be analyzed.
Does it create a report at that point?
Yes, once the extraction summary is open, Celebrate will then allow me to generate a report, which will then put it into a UFED reader report format, so it's an easier way for the data to be analyzed.
This process, can this be used on any type of phone?
Yes.
Turn your attention to October 13, 2015. Did you receive a request to conduct an extraction on a cell phone that day?
Yes, I did.
Well, where did you get that request from?
I got that request from the homicide unit with the consent to search the device.
And what type of device was that?
An Apple iPhone 6.
What did you do once you got that request?
Once I got that request, I started the extraction process, which were the steps that I just previously talked about. Where I would check, make sure it's in airplane mode, connected to the forensic computer, then start the Celebrate software, which will then allow me to do the advanced logical extraction. And then once that's complete, I generate the report. It's burned out to disk and then signed over to the detective for the data to be analyzed.
Is that what you did in this case?
Yes, it is.
Were you able to successfully conduct an extraction of that Apple iPhone 6?
Yes, I was.
Were you able to get data from that Apple iPhone 6?
Yes.
Was there a UFED report that was generated?
Yes, there was.
Do you recall what the phone number that was associated with that iPhone 6 that you received on that day?
I would have to refer to the extraction summary.
If I showed you that extraction summary, that refresh your recollection to the phone number?
Yes, it would.
Can I move to mark S45 for identification purposes if I may first look?
I'll stipulate.
Showing was S345. Do you recall what the phone number was that was associated with that iPhone 6 that was extracted on October 13, 2015?
Yes, I do.
What phone number was that?
It's 609-314-1572.
What's an IMEI number?
That's a unique identifier number that is given to every device, just so it will be, it's just unique to that phone, so it can tell which devices belongs to which IMEI.
And what was the IMEI number for this phone?
359-3010-60-166-534.
Was there a name associated to this iPhone?
Yes, there was. The device name was DJ's iPhone.
What did you do with the information, the data you extracted from that phone once it was complete?
Once it was complete, I generated the report, burned it out to a DVD-R, and handed it over to the homicide unit for analysis.
Did you perform any analysis of the data yourself?
No, I did not.
And what did you do with the phone once that was complete?
That was signed back over to Detective Howard.
Is he with the Camden County Prosecutor's Office?
Yes, he is.
S178 in evidence, if I may first look. Show me S178 that's in evidence. Take a look at that. Tell me if you're right.
Yes, I do.
What is that?
That is Daniel Creato's computer.
Maybe Creato's phone?
Yes, sorry.
Is that in the same or substantially the same condition as when you conducted the extraction?
Yes.
With the same phone you conducted the extraction from?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have.
No.
Thanks for that.
Rare and shy next witness.
Your Honor, I have a stipulation. I'm going to read the record this time.
That's fine.
Thank you. I have stipulation that's been marked State's Exhibit S346. And reads as follows. The state and the defense agree to the following facts. The call to testify, Detective Rich Nicolello will testify as follows. Detective Nicolello is employed by the Camden County Prosecutor's Office. He is assigned to the high-tech crime scene. On October 18, 2015, Detective Rich Nicolello conducted a forensic extraction of the hard drives of 2 Dell laptop computers and 1 Toshiba laptop computer that was seized pursuant to a search of 103D Cooper Street in Haddon Township, New Jersey. The extractions were conducted in an appropriate manner and yielded successful images of the hard drives of the 3 laptop computers. The laptop computers were then returned to the Camden County Prosecutor's Office as evidence loss. Detectives Chris Robinson and Jason Malone of the Camden County Prosecutor's Office High-Tech Crimes Unit conducted a search of the extracted images of the hard drives of each of the laptop computers. The detectives did not locate anything of evidential value in their search. If called to testify, Detective Chris Robinson will testify as follows. Detective Chris Robinson is employed by the Camden County Prosecutor's Office. He is assigned to the high-tech crime scene. On January 16, 2016, Detective Robinson conducted a forensic extraction of the defendant's Apple iPhone 6, marked S178. Detective Robinson utilized UFED Celebrate software to conduct the extraction. The extraction was conducted in an appropriate manner and yielded a successful image of the phone. Detective Robinson copied the results of the extraction of the 2 USB drives and provided them to the Camden County Prosecutor's Office homicide. Detective Robinson then returned the defendant's iPhone into the Camden County Prosecutor's Office's evidence locker. That is S-346.
And 345 is an alternate amendment, so I think my stipulation.
I think the stipulation.
So 345 and 346 should be admitted into evidence. Again, members of the jury, you've heard a stipulation. The parties have agreed to certain facts. The jury should treat these facts as undisputed. That is, the parties agree that these facts are true. As with all evidence, undisputed facts can be accepted or rejected by the jury in reaching a verdict. With that, I guess we'll back to you, Ms. Shaw.
Yes, Judge. The state's going to call Detective Sergeant Joe Johnston.
So I'm going to ask you to come up and stand right before the clerk here to my left.
Take a knee for the record.
Joseph Johnson.
Do you swear or affirm testimony that you shall give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Can you tell ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you work?
Haddon Township Police Department.
How long have you been with Haddon Township Police Department?
20 plus years.
Can you describe your duties as a detective sergeant with the Haddon Township Police Department?
Oversee the criminal investigations unit.
Okay, does that include supervising other detectives?
Yes, it does.
And how long have you yourself been a detective?
6 years.
Did you have a role in the investigation of the homicide of Brendan Creato?
I did, yes.
And what was your role?
To oversee Haddon Township's detective, Don Quinn, who was the lead investigator, who was assigned to work with Detective Rhodes of the Camden County Prosecutor's Office.
Did you also assist with the investigation?
I did.
What did you do to assist?
I did some canvassing. I did some searches for video surveillance systems. I've done some field interviews, some phone interviews for anonymous tips.
Things like that? I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to Wednesday, October the 28th of 2015. At approximately 6 p.m. that evening, did you respond to 57 Strawbridge Avenue in Westmont?
Yes, I did.
Why did you go out to that residence?
I received a tip about a baby stroller that was located at a vacant property, 57 Stroller now.
Right, and in what way was the stroller associated with the ongoing investigation?
There had been an earlier news report indicating that a person was observed pushing a stroller in the area.
On the morning that Brendan was located?
Yes,
Okay. So the house that you went out to, was that occupied at the time?
it was not.
And are you familiar with that house?
I am familiar with it, yes.
How long had the house been vacant?
3 or 4 years.
And are you familiar with the family who last lived there?
Yes, I was.
Did they have children?
They did.
How many?
3.
Where was the stroller located on the property?
It was on the driveway, the right side of the property, up against the house, behind a gate that was open.
Was that a driveway gate?
Driveway gate, yes.
What did you do when you first arrived at the house?
I took overall photographs of the scene of the house.
Did you photograph the stroller as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay, was it dark when you took the photos?
Extremely dark, yes.
Did you, after you took photographs, did you collect the stroller?
I did.
Can you describe the condition of the stroller?
The stroller was worn. It was dirty. It had some debris, like leafy debris, maybe like little acorn particles mixed with the cup holder area was dirty. It just appeared to be stained. It had been there for a while.
Did you collect anything other than a stroller while you were out there?
On the hood of the stroller, there was like a bicycle air pump or a basketball air pump. the compartments of the stroller, there was a mesh bag which contained knee pads and elbow pads for a child.
So what did you do with the items you saw?
I collected everything together. I put on gloves, folded up the stroller, secured it in my detective on-call vehicle, and later transported it back to the police department.
Did you notify anyone in the prosecutor's office about the stroller?
I did.
Who did you contact?
Detective Rhodes.
When did you do that?
I did that prior to responding out to the scene. I spoke with Detective Rhodes, making him aware of the tip that I received regarding the stroller, and we both agreed that it should be collected.
I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to the next day, October 29th. Did you return to 57 Strawbridge Avenue that morning?
Yes, I did.
What did you return for?
I wanted to take overall photographs of the house and the property during daylight hours, get a better idea of the vacant property and, the entire property as a whole, get a better view of everything.
And at some point on that same day, did you turn over the stroller and its contents to members of the Camden County Prosecutor's Office?
Yes, I did.
And did personnel from Hampton Township Police Department and the Camden County Prosecutor's Office, did they conduct a canvass of the Strawbridge Avenue area that day,
Yes,
the 29th?
Yes, we did.
And that included a search for surveillance video or anything? No?
Yes, ma'am.
And to your knowledge, was there anything learned?
There was nothing learned.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at a couple of exhibits for me. State's exhibit number 357. Are you familiar with that area?
Very familiar.
Is that a map of Hampton Township?
It is.
Okay, you've been an officer there for 20 years?
Yes, I did.
Okay, does that map show the location of 57 Strawbridge Avenue?
It does.
I would move that in evidence. I should have
I'm sorry, the number on that again.
357, John.
That would be admitted evidence without objection.
And then I'm going to ask you to look, just leap through State's exhibits numbers 358 through and including 370. I will just look up the different things.
I'll just ask it. I assume you're talking
I am going to, Judge, yes.
by stipulation, it'll be admitted, and that's 357 through 370 inclusive.
There's the photographs that you took with regard to the home that you went to, the stroller you collected, and the knee pads and the air pump?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we start with, well, I guess they're already in evidence. Can we start with State's Exhibit 357? Okay, Detective, this is a map of Hampton Township, correct?
Yes, it is.
And the area where the pinpoint is that the location that you went to collect that stroller?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and the jury has seen this map in several forms now, but am I correct that Brendan was located over in this area of Cooper River Park?
You are.
Okay, so approximately how far apart are those?
The most direct route would probably be about 8 tenths of a mile.
Okay. Can we see State's Exhibit number 358, please? And what is this photograph of?
57 Strawbridge Avenue.
Okay, it's the house we collected the stroller from?
Yes, it is.
And it appears that it doesn't have power. Is that correct?
Correct.
And State's Exhibit number 359, please? Okay, this is a picture of the getting into the driveway, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I know it was dark when you took the pictures, but over here behind the gate, is that the stroller that you collected?
It is.
Okay, and did you take one close-up photograph of the stroller?
Yes.
Can we see 360, please? And there again, that's the stroller you collected, correct?
Yes, it is.
That's the location where you found it?
Yes.
Can we see 361? just the front of the stroller?
Correct.
State's Exhibit 362. And in State's Exhibit 362, do you see the air pump that you referred to on the roof of the hood of the stroller there?
I do.
Okay, is that why you collected it, because it was with the stroller?
Correct.
What is it? Sorry, 362. Can you see 363? And is this a photograph that you took when you returned to the property instead?
It is.
Okay, it's front of the house, correct?
Yes.
And 364, please. All right, what's this structure?
That is a two-car garage.
Is that located in the rear yard of 57 Strawbridge Avenue?
Yes, it is.
And 365? Is that the rear of the home?
Yes, it is.
366, please. This is the porch that's located on the back of the house, correct?
Yes.
Is that the condition it was in at the time when you went out there taking photographs?
Yes, it is.
It appears to be a beach bucket was left on that porch along with some furniture, correct?
Yes.
And can we have State's Exhibit number 367, please? And what are we looking at in 367?
That is when you're facing the garage, the right-hand side door. After opening the door, that's what was located inside the garage.
Okay, did there appear to you, and does there appear to you in the photograph to be some additional children's items?
There does.
Okay, what did you know when you were there at the time?
I noted that, it was obviously in somewhat disarray. There was a shovel on the floor there.
Is that a children's shovel?
It's a children, it looks like a beach shovel in plastic.
Okay.
With a wooden handle, like a hula hoop, a green ball, some children's hangers up on the,
Could you zoom in on that a little bit, please? The yard sale sign and the banners. You were just testifying about some children's hangers, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, it appears they have a yard sale on the left. Is that your assessment of it?
My assessment.
Okay. And then there was a second side to that garage, too?
Correct.
When we're looking at this particular photograph, is this on the right side of the garage or the left?
This here is on the right-hand side of the garage.
Did you check the left-hand side of the garage as well?
Yes.
See the next photograph, please, it's Exhibit 360, okay. And was there really anything on the other side of the garage?
No.
And then lastly, is 369, please. That's a photograph of the pump that you collected.
Yes.
And 370, please. And that is a photograph of the knee pads that were in the stroller. Do you recall where in the stroller they were?
It was one of the compartments, it was believed to be behind the backing of the stroller.
Okay.
On the back side, which was just below the handles.
I'm just going to ask you to take a look at one more picture, Detective. And for the record, it's State's Exhibit 237. Looking at this photograph of the stroller, obviously this is the one that you took, but do you see the area or the patch you're referring to where you located the knee pads and the elbow pads?
Yes, underneath the handle.
Underneath the right here?
Yep.
Thank you. Could the lights, please? I don't have any other questions, Detective. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning.
You prefer detective or sergeant?
Whatever.
Sergeant, just two things briefly. First, you said that you recovered this because there was a news report about someone seeing you stroller that morning, right?
Yeah, well, someone had watched the news report or saw a news report and then contacted me.
But the information that someone had this weird interaction or saw someone pushing a stroller that they thought was important came from a resident of that township, right?
Yes.
A guy named Mark Hoover, the Detective Quinn actually interviewed him with Detective Rhodes.
Yes.
So this was a tip that, you say you went through a number of tips, that anonymous tips. This is one that you thought was worth following up on.
Yes.
Detective, Sergeant, you would agree with me, but 35-pound 3-year-old was fit in that stroller, right?
And it's hard to say, it's a little beyond. It's more like a, I suppose it's like an infant vehicle.
That's an infant stroller?
Not exactly, it's borderline, I would say. As far as whether or not a 3-year-old or like, child, I don't know. Wouldn't be able to tell unless I had a 3-year-old, 35 child.
Sorry, I know the budget for that. Michelle?
No, Judge, I don't have anything, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. The state's next witness is going to be Christina Nipper.
Office stand right before the clerk, to my left.
State your name for the record, please. Christina Nipper. Swear or her testimony may be shall give and is clear to the truth, not selective. Yes.
Yes.
Good morning. Can you tell ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you work?
I work at the New Jersey State Police Office of Forensic Sciences.
What is your position there?
I am currently a Forensic Scientist 1, and I'm assigned to the Forensic Serology Unit.
How long have you been with the New Jersey State Police?
Just over 5 years.
Can you explain your job duties as a forensic scientist in the serology unit, you said?
In the Serology Unit, I examine physical evidence for the presence of biological material such as blood, semen, saliva, and urine.
Do you have any other laboratory experience outside of that with the State Police?
Yes, I do.
Can you describe that for us?
I worked for about 2.5 years for NMS Labs as a forensic chemist.
What is your educational background?
I graduated in 2009 from York College in Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in science, forensic chemistry.
Are you a member of any professional organizations?
Yes, I am.
Could you describe those for us?
I'm a member of the American Academy of Forensic Scientists, the New Jersey Association of Forensic Scientists, and the New Jersey Homicide Investigators Association.
Since completing your degree in college, have you continued your education by attending meetings and seminars in the course of your job?
Yes, over the last few years, I've attended meetings regularly dealing with various topics in forensic science.
And are those things that you attend and also in-service trainings that are conducted in-house at the forensic laboratory?
Yes, I attend the annual forensic in-service at our lab.
How are you trained in the identification, examination, and analysis of biological stains?
We have an in-house training at the lab. It typically lasts 6 months to a year. It involves performing casework with a forensic scientist 2 or higher. It involves tests, both written and oral, reports. And then ultimately, I need to pass a competency test before I'm allowed to do casework on my own.
And did you successfully complete all of those necessary steps?
Yes, I did.
And what happens at the end of the completion of all of your training?
At the completion of my training, I am officially certified as a forensic serologist.
And you have that certification now?
Yes, I do.
Do you continue to undergo proficiency testing?
Yes, we have to pass an annual proficiency test to maintain our certification.
Is the lab you work with, the New Jersey State Police Forensics Laboratory, is that accredited?
Yes, it is.
By whom?
It's accredited by ASCLAD Lab. It's an international accrediting board for forensic laboratories.
And that's the American Society of Crime Laboratory Directors? Yes. Okay.
Mark, I don't wish to interrupt, but I will stipulate to Ms. Sticker's
There's just a few more questions, Judge. I prefer to finish if I may. In the course of your training and experience in the field of forensic serology, approximately how many cases or samples have you yourself conducted biological sample and stain testing on?
I've tested hundreds of samples throughout my career.
Have you testified before as an expert in biological stain analysis?
Yes, I have.
Judge, I would offer Ms. Nipper as an expert in biological stain analysis and forensic serology.
Again, members of the jury, this witness is being called as an expert, as a general witness, can testify only as the facts known by them. This rule ordinarily does not permit the opinion of witness to receive as evidence. However, an exception to the rule exists in the case of an expert witness who may give her opinion as to any manner in which she is versed, which is material to the case. In legal terminology, an expert witness is a witness who has some special knowledge, skill, experience, or training that is not possessed by the ordinary juror and who thus may be able to provide assistance to the jury in understanding the evidence presented and determining the facts of the case. You're not bound by the expert's opinion. You should consider each opinion and give it the weight to which you deem it is entitled, whether that be great or slight, or you may reject it. In examining each opinion, you may consider the reasons given for it, if any, and you may also consider the qualifications and credibility of the expert. With that, please proceed.
Okay, Ms. Nipper, can you tell us again, what is a biological stain?
A biological stain is something that might be found on physical evidence that originates from a biological fluid, such as blood, semen, saliva, or urine.
And can those items be recovered from evidence that's collected at crime scenes?
Yes, they can.
And is it then sometimes possible to obtain DNA from the biological stain?
Yes, it is.
Did you have the occasion to examine evidence in a criminal matter involving the investigation of the death of Brenda and Creato?
Yes, I did.
And once you conducted your analysis, did you have occasion to prepare a written report of your findings?
Yes.
Would it assist you in your testimony if you were able to refer to that report?
Yes, it would.
Judge, I'm going to mark this as, I believe on 380. Sorry, Judge, can I have just a moment?
Sure.
Actually, the reason for my current delay is you actually, on 2 occasions, tested items in this case, correct? So you actually have 2 reports?
Yes. So, Judge, just for the record, State's Exhibit number 380 is going to be a 2-page report. Oh, yeah, sure.
as I just indicated, Ms. Nibber, you conducted 2 rounds of testing in this case, correct?
Correct.
Okay, with regard to the first submission that you tested, can you tell us what evidence did you receive?
Yes, I received items number 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Okay, what were?
Item number 11 was a DNA reference collected from the victim, and items number 12, 13, and 14 were concept applicators that were collected, that were used to collect staining from a bathroom.
Okay. The applicators, is that what you call them, applicators?
Yes.
Okay, tell us what kind of examination you perform when you receive a swab or an applicator like that.
There is indication in this case that the swabs had potential red brown staining on them. So for these items, I performed a Kastle-Meyer reagent test. This test is a presumptive test for the presence of blood.
And what happens if the presence of blood is positive?
If it's positive, I call it presumptively positive blood, and I will forward those swabs for that item to the DNA unit for further analysis.
Okay, so let's talk about the first swab that you examined. Can you tell us, how was it marked in evidence? Was it, did it have any particular markings on it?
I believe, according to the evidence received, it was marked JG1, and it was collected from the bathroom doorway.
All right. And what did you do to examine it?
I tested it with the Kastle-Meyer reagent test. This requires me to take the swab and rub it onto a piece of filter paper. I then apply the chemicals to that filter paper. At the end of these applications of chemicals, if it turns a bright pink color, this indicates to me that it is a positive result. If I don't get a pink color change, then I declare it as non-detected.
Okay, and what happened with the first swab that you tested that was marked JG1?
The first swab was marked as non-detected for the presence of blood.
So was that the end of the testing for that particular piece of evidence?
Yes.
What was the next swab that you looked at?
The next swab was collected from the bathroom floor.
Okay, and how was that marked?
JG2.
All right, and was it in the same form as the first swab?
Yes, it was.
Did you perform the same testing on it?
Yes, I did.
And what was the result of the Kastle-Meyer test on the second swab?
This time I received a positive result for that swab.
Okay. So what did you do with it?
I then packaged it up and forwarded it to the DNA unit via a DNA packet.
And did you conduct testing on the third swab as well?
Yes, I did.
Where was that swab from?
That swab was also collected from the bathroom floor and was marked JG3.
Was it in the same form as the previous 2 swabs?
Yes, it was.
Did you perform the same test on it?
Yes, I did.
What result did you receive for the third swab?
I got a positive result for that swab.
And you testified that one of the things that you received in this first round of testing was a DNA reference for Brendan Creato, correct?
Correct.
Did you do anything with that at this time?
I did not. I just forwarded that to the DNA unit through the DNA packet.
Is it your understanding that there were other items that were included in this first submission that were brought up to the lab for testing?
The evidence receipt I received contained items number 11 to 14.
Okay.
However, this indicates to me that prior items were potentially submitted to the lab.
And to your knowledge, did that include cigarette butts?
I believe it did.
Did you conduct any testing on the cigarette butts?
I did not.
Why not?
We don't do any testing in serology for cigarette butts. We don't want to remove any potential DNA that might be present on those items. So we forward them to the DNA unit and they directly test those cigarette butts.
Okay. Did you receive a second request for serology testing in this case?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to on or about November 6th. Can you tell us what items you received at that time?
Yes, I received item number 15, which contained a stroller and a napkin.
Okay. And can you describe the stroller and its condition?
I believe it was a brown collapsible stroller that had multiple dirt-like and insect debris present.
Snipper, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what's been marked, already been marked in evidence as State's Exhibit number 343. Do you recognize that stroller?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is that the stroller that you examined at the state police lab?
It is.
Would you like to get, please? I believe you already said that it was a brown stroller, correct?
Correct.
Can you describe its condition?
It appeared very dirty. It had debris on it, bug debris, plant debris.
Did you process the stroller?
Yes, I did.
Okay, tell us what you did to process it.
I first took a couple swabbings of some areas that might have had more contact than contact with. These included swabbings of the headrest, the armrests, the tray, the straps and the buckles, and the handles of the stroller.
All right, and when you're swabbing them, can you describe the process that you followed?
Yes, I was looking for potential epithelial cells on these items, on these areas. Epithelial cells are skin cells which might contain DNA. So when I went about swabbing them, I also looked to see if these swabs might have contained blood on them as well. So I first swabbed the items of those areas, and then I tested those swabs for the presence of blood as well.
Okay, so with regard to, I think you said one of the swabs you collected was from the headrest, is that correct?
Correct.
And that, when you say headrest, that would be where if there was a child or a baby in the stroller where their head would be, correct?
Correct.
All right. Did you receive any positive results with the Kastle-Meyer test?
I did not.
What did you do with the swabs that you collected at that time?
I forwarded them to the DNA unit.
And you also testified with regard to the armrests. Did you swab both of them?
Yes, I did.
And was there any reaction with the Kastle-Meyer test?
There was not.
Did you forward the swabs that you took on to the DNA lab?
Yes, I did.
And with regard to the front tray that you swabbed, was there any reaction in the Kastle-Meyer test?
There was not.
So it went to DNA?
Correct.
And I believe you said the straps and the buckles of the stroller as well, correct?
Yes.
Any reaction with the Kastle-Meyer test?
No.
So those swabs went to DNA?
Correct.
And lastly, the push handles. Any reaction with the Kastle-Meyer test?
No.
And the swabs went to the DNA lab?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Ms. Nipper, sometimes will items go from your unit to a trace unit?
Occasionally.
Okay. And can you tell us what kind of testing does the trace unit in your lab do?
If I notice any type of potential trace evidence, I have the option to put on a report to say that trace evidence can be additionally collected, and then we can submit it to the trace evidence unit.
Okay, and what kind of trace evidence would you see when you were examining a piece of evidence? Like just some examples.
Potentially hair or any type of fibers would qualify as trace evidence.
Okay, and if you're going to send something to the trace unit for testing, what does the trace unit need in order to conduct testing?
Generally, the trace unit would like to have a comparative sample, so any samples that you collect, they can make a comparison to obtain results.
So in order to get a result, they have to have something that was found as well as something to compare it to, correct?
Generally.
And in your experience as a forensic scientist, can the submersion of items in water have an effect on your ability to locate evidence?
Environmental factors can definitely add or subtract any type of physical evidence that might be on an item.
So environmental factors can add evidence?
Yes.
Could you give us an example of that?
If there's additional hairs in debris, that can be transferred to physical evidence. Any types of fibers, plant-like material, anything of that nature.
And with regard to the items that you generally search for in your analysis, the blood, the semen, the saliva, the urine, are all those items affected by water?
They definitely can be.
I don't have anything else, Judge. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Briefly, Ms. Nipper, good morning. You said it can be affected by submersion in water, right?
Yes,
But it's not necessarily affected by submersion in water?
it's not necessarily.
So potentially if an investigator is looking for evidence, trace evidence, DNA evidence, blood at the glial cells, it makes sense to try even though something's wet?
We always may obtain results despite environmental factors.
So it's clear that just because something's wet doesn't mean DNA evidence would be there.
That doesn't mean it would be there.
Thank you very much. I don't think I have any other questions.
I don't have anything else, Judge, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I need a few minutes to pull all the exhibits together for the next witness because we have handouts for your jury.
All right, so let's take a short break now. Why don't we take it?
Okay, thank you.
Why don't we take a 10-minute break? We'll probably have another break later this morning. So, after a short break, see everyone back in 10 minutes. Don't discuss the aspect of the case. Discuss any testimony occurred. We'll see you back.
Please rise.